Chapter 28 Nature's Mystic Alphabet. I will meditate also on all thy work and talk of thy doings. The man who is endued with this devotion, who seeth the unity of all things, perceiveth the Supreme Soul in all things, and all things in the Supreme Soul. The Bhagavad Gita. It is desirable that all occult students form some definite idea of the true meanings and relations of sound, number, color, and form, for they stand at the foundation of all occult training. Although this theme is so stupendous that nothing more than this briefest possible outline can be attempted in this lesson, still there have been so many vandal hands digging about this foundation, disrupting, disorganizing, and giving mere surface interpretations, that many a student in his bewilderment thinks that this foundation is tottering. This lesson is meant to be but a hint, an incentive to deeper study. For everything in nature has its voice which speaks in tones so positive that it cannot mislead if we open our ears to it. Every shade of color in nature indicates a potency which can be measured by its wavelength and its rate of vibration and have its tone determined. We read, "The very hairs of your head are all numbered." This is literally true, for the color of the hair together with its texture determines the number of its vibrations, just as the texture of a violin string determines the number and character of its vibrations. And the vibrations of the hair, as part of the keynote of the body, are one indication of the character or the measure of a man. Every flower and herb of the field, every leaf and twig of the forest, by its color and form, its odor, its environment, and its manner of growing, proclaims in unmistakable language its nature, its potencies, and its uses, when interpreted according to the law of correspondence. As above, so below. For all nature's shapes can be traced back to and analyzed into simple geometrical figures. A circle, a dash, a pyramid, a square, and a circle. Just as all musical notes produce characteristic geometrical designs when made to pass through sand or other suitable material. Do not think, however, that this analysis is a simple task, for very few colors stand out alone any more than there are straight lines or exact geometrical figures in nature. We find a multiplicity of combinations of color and form. Hence, to get their true meaning, they must be separated into their elements. Only the true student who can devote much time and study to the subject can hope to penetrate far into the secrets of nature. Nevertheless, we are told, there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. We also read, help nature and work on her, and nature will regard thee as one of her creators and make obeisance. And she will open wide before the portals of her secret chambers, lay bare before thy gaze the treasures hidden in the very depths of her pure virgin bosom. Unsullied by the hand of matter, she shows her treasures only to the eye of the spirit, the eye which never closes, the eye for which there is no veil in all her kingdoms. This is not a chimerical dream, but an actual possibility. It is what is really meant by living close to nature. Sound, number, and color are the three manifestations of deity in nature, nature's alphabet, so to speak, and these three produce a fourth form. Loosely speaking, sound is the first letter of this divine alphabet, and according to the note of vibration or number of sound is color produced, although the sound may not be audible to the human ear, and by the interaction of these three is form created. Thus is the word or the creative sound made manifest, for without these three factors nothing can be produced. That which is called the keynote of any personality is never one musical tone, but a combination of tones, a chord. There are many ways of finding this chord, but the surest is by listening in the silence, first asking for guidance, and striving to harmonize yourself with the divine that is within you, your Father in heaven, then endeavoring to silence all other activities of your mind and listen for the answer. Many students make the mistake of selecting exterior colors and notes and surrounding themselves with them because those colors or tones appeal to them and imagine they belong to them. The effect of this is to hold back the development of their real key note, for it is generally quite different from that which they imagine. The vibrations produced by the outer colors and tones focus upon the student and drown the inner. Moreover, your true color or tone is something which you must reach out for and strive to develop within you. The instant it is thus attained, the next higher color or tone becomes your keynote. It may be said that man is continually playing his psalm of life in the bass clef of human vibrations. Hence he experiences in harmony, sickness, and sorrow, until he listens to and strives to sing the melody of the treble clef as sung by his higher self, and make his bass clef but an accompaniment. When this is done, the bass clef gives fullness and richness to the chords and makes the melody complete. There are three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, a trinity which may be compared to body, soul, and spirit. Each is produced by a particular tone with a definite rate of vibration or number and wavelength. These three form the triangle, the first geometrical figure to manifest on Earth. From these three emanate four other supplementary colors, the square, orange, green, indigo, and violet, and by blending and interblending of these seven, together with black and white, are all other colors produced. In numbers also the same law is operative, for by blending of the first seven together with 8, the number of evolution, in which the power of the numbers is evolved into a higher octave in the same way that the colors are lifted into a higher octave by the admixture of white, and 9, black, the number of initiation, are all numbers produced. In the musical scale we again find this correspondence, there being 7 notes, the 8th or repeated note being the point of evolution into the next octave. The sharps raise the tones while the flats deepen them. The pause or interval in which the one octave dies and the new is born is comparable to 9 a number or black in color. Although on earth this pause seems to be silence, yet in reality upon the spiritual plane it is a definite tone which comprises all preceding tones and may be called the assimilation of tones, just as black swallows up all colors, yet on earth is no color. The 7 colors are born from the pure white light, or no color on the physical plane, which in turn is born from darkness or black. Hence black and white in essence are one and the same thing, the two ends of the divine spectrum, with all the manifestations of color as vibratory steps between them. Pure white is not known on earth, what appears as white always being tinged with yellow, blue, or sometimes violet. According to the tenets of Eastern occultism, darkness is the one true actuality, the basis and root of light, without which the latter could never manifest itself or even exist. Light is matter, and darkness pure spirit. Even in the mind-baffling and science-harassing Genesis, light is created out of darkness, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and not vice versa. In him, in darkness was life, and the life was the light of man. On earth all colors are swallowed up in black, for in black no colors are visible, while all colors live in white. Black and white are represented by the straight vertical line, which after its descent to earth passes through various geometrical forms, the first of which is a triangle, composed of the 3 primary creative rays, their numbers being 3, 5, and 7. Red is the keynote of physical man and his evolution, and its rate of vibration is the slowest of the 3 primary colors. Being the most physical, it lends its influence to all the others, yet within it are the potencies of all. It is a masculine, not a feminine color, although in a certain sense all 3 primary colors may be called mother colors, in the same way that 3 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, Mem, and Shin, are called mother letters, and with much the same meaning. The hierarchy of the red ray is one now manifesting on earth, and when man has evolved beyond red, in all its varied shades, he will have become something more than what is known today as man. Within this red ray, however, all the colors manifest as subrays more or less tinged with red. All colors are raised to a higher vibration by the pure white light of spirit shining through them. Hence evolution through the red ray is accomplished by the lightening and added brilliancy of its shade. For instance, a pale rose pink is the lightest expression of red, while the red of venous blood is its darkest. Red is the color of the vehicle of the life force, but not of the life force itself, prana, which is orange. Therefore, the blood through which the life force manifests is red. Almost everything that grows, just as it pushes up through the soil, shows a red or pink surface which later changes to green. All red flowers, fruits, grains, vegetables, and meats tend to warm and enrich the blood and strengthen the physical body. Some of the lower aspects of red are warmth, life, passion, and war, while its higher aspects are strength, courage, and love. The planet corresponding to the red ray is Mars, its metal iron. Just as the soul is the vehicle through which the spirit manifests, so is yellow the vehicle through which the pure spiritual light manifests. Pure yellow is therefore the soul color, and according to its brilliancy does it show forth the overshadowing white light of spirit. It is the messenger of the gods, for it governs the psychic powers by which the inspiration of the gods reach the human mind. This is symbolized by the customary use of yellow or gold hanging upon the altar, and gold fringe or embroidery on the altar cloth, and by the flame of the sacerdotal candles. For yellow is the vehicle of the ray of pure spirit or the flame. It is the color which lends to all other colors their spiritual significance. All yellow flowers and foods are vehicles through which psychic force can enter the body to strengthen the psychic currents. A free use of yellow cornmeal in the diet and corn water as a drink frequently proves a wonderful tonic, if not a cure, for certain psychic disorders. Its planet is Mercury and its metal also. Blue is a truly feminine color. It is the color of the auric envelope and of the firmament which forms the blue arc of heaven, which shuts it in and protects it. It is inspiring and uplifting, for the firmament is studded with stars, which lift the thoughts above mundane things to other worlds. This is the office of blue wherever found in nature, to inspire, uplift, soothe, calm, and comfort. In all its meanings, it is the opposite or complementary of red, while yellow lends its force to both. Blue, being the color of the auric zone, is the color of the mother principle, which encloses, enwraps, spiritualizes. All blue flowers have a tendency to allay fevers, cool, and comfort. Its corresponding planet is Jupiter, its metal tin and aluminum. Of the supplementary colors, orange is the color of the pranic life force that flows in the blood. It is a cheering, warming, forceful color, having for its planet the sun, the symbol of life physically and spiritually. Red and orange are the two most masculine colors, the one being the blood, the other the vital life force in the blood. All orange flowers and foods contain an exceptional amount of life force, and whenever orange is found in nature, it is vibrant with life force. Its corresponding metal is gold. And because this metal absorbs and focuses the sun force, it was used to cover the roofs of many ancient temples and for vessels used in certain sacred services. It is pertinent to the times to note that this highest metal, like the highest spiritual concept, is now debased and used for barter. Green is a feminine color, the middle note in nature, F natural or Fa, the middle principle between the material and the spiritual. When nature strikes her true note and throws out her cheering green in the spring, it penetrates into the hearts of men and awakens in them a desire to grow, to do, to create, to accomplish. No one thinks of calling a tree spiritual, yet who can look up into the waving green branches of a noble tree and not have a soul lifted up from nature to supernature? Green is the color of the human intellect, the lower manas, the highest point attainable by physical man and nature. It is the keynote of the physical plane, hence is always restful and pleasing to man. It is the color of worldly power and its success due to intellectual attainments, its lower aspects manifested as envy, greed, etc. It is a necessary link between nature and supernature. Therefore, do not despise this color, the humble works of nature, or even a perfect animal soul. For without its perfect functioning, there would be no stable basis upon which and through the higher forces could activate. There have been many ridiculous theories advanced as to why nature is green, some holding that it is due to yellow sunlight pouring through blue ether, etc. But were this true, everything would be green. Nature is green because green is the point or keynote in the vibratory scale to which physical nature upon this planet responds, and to which it is evolved. Its planet is Saturn, the binder, and also the reaper, he who limits physical manifestation and reaps from it the seed of spiritual attainment. Saturn is the ruler of the earth insofar as the Saturn force must be faced and conquered by this planet. Its metal is lead. Indigo is by no means blue, as so many miscall it, but is a color by itself. Represents spiritual mind, the power of the spiritual plane brought to earth and manifested through physical man, as contrasted with human mind or intellect. It is human intellect joined to soul and permeated by spirit, forming the higher triad of incarnated ego. While green represents the highest point to which physical nature and the intellect of man can reach, indigo represents this same intellect overshadowed and inspired by something far above the divine mind. It is the power of inspiration, higher manas, which enables man to project his consciousness into realms above those capable of being reached by the intellect alone. Like its ruling planet Venus, indigo has its two aspects. For while it always represents spiritual mind, it is often submerged and held down to worldly concerns in spite of its ability to soar into the universal mind and bring to man divine thought. All indigo color in nature, if properly used, is helpful toward the development of this godlike power of lifting the human consciousness above that of the intellect. Its metal is copper. Violet is not an earthly color. True violet is not a mixture of red and blue, although it is usually represented on earth by such a mixture, but is a color apart from which belongs altogether to the astral plane. its physical counterpart being but a reflection. It is said to be ruled by the moon, yet not really by the moon, even though moonlight contains a high percentage of violet and ultraviolet rays. For true violet comes from the mystery planet concealed from physical sight by the corpse of the old moon, which gradually disappears during the 6th great race, allowing the mystery planet to be revealed to the 7th great race. The potency and power of violet is due to the rays of this mystery planet penetrating to Earth and creating the astral body, the body of sensation in which the inner forces work. Where violet is found in nature, it tends to focus the astral currents and act on astral matter. In fact, it has the mysterious power of holding the potency of the astral and commanding its forces. And as the astral body of all things is the pattern of the physical, the violet ray can be utilized in perfecting an astral pattern of a superior form, and in destroying harmful astral matter. Violet has the power of guarding the astral, admitting the helpful and excluding the harmful astral forces. It is ruled by the moon, and its metal is silver. All other colors are mixtures or shades, or rates of vibration between these 7 colors, together with black and white. Among numbers, 0 symbolizes limitless time and eternity, unmanifested deity. Its geometrical form is the circle from which all numbers are born. 1 is unity, creative force, life, the Father, Mother, Son, descending to earth in an undifferentiated state. Its geometrical form is the dot within the 0, or the germinal point of the mundane egg, the nucleus in the cell. 2 is separation. The Father separates from the Mother and becomes mundane. The dot cannot manifest on earth without having 2 dimensions, length and breadth, and 2 poles, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. It is represented by 2 geometrical forms, either the straight vertical line or the dot with 2 lines of force emerging from it, both forms commonly found in nature. 3 is the Trinity, sacred and divine because it is the Father, the Mother, and the Son manifesting in humanity, or man and woman united in God. Its geometrical form is the triangle. 4 is the completion of physical creation, the most perfect of mundane numbers that holds within itself the power of 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. Its geometrical form is the square, the base of the pyramid. 5 represents humanity or man and is one of the most mystical of numbers, for man is the climax of physical evolution, the crowning point of all the lower kingdoms and the forerunner and image of God. Man is the universally structured type. In one aspect, all lower types rise toward man and are completed in him. In another aspect, the specialties of type break up and distribute downward from man to form the lower kingdoms of life as his proper base and support. Moreover, man is the only species that stands erect, with the cerebrum poised at right angles to the spine, the only species that utilizes 2 limbs from the function of locomotion for the exclusive service of the mind and brain, the only species whose length of the extended arms and legs is equal to the height of the body, the only species in which the segments of the spine are measures of the angles of the cube, the only species with a spoken language, an alphabet, a recorded history, and a prospective future. 5 is also the number of the digits on man's hand. While some animals, anthropoids, have 5 digits, still the thumb, which in man is the great factor in the usefulness of the hand, is but rudimentary, and in primitive man noticeably undeveloped. Thus the size and the shape of the thumb becomes an index to the stage of man's evolution. It marks a difference between Anthropophus and anthropoid. Its geometrical figure is that formed by man, his 2 feet outspread, his arms outstretched, and his head upright, forming the 5-pointed star, the magic pentagram. 6 is man with something else added, or man considered as the Lord of creation. 6 is primarily the number of nature. It is the number of the Christ principle, but only as it pertains to the manifestation of the essence of universal power in nature. Hence, 6 pertains to man's power over nature. Its geometrical figure is the interlaced triangles. The triangle pointed upward is light, signifying man's divine nature and his ability to receive from the divine. The one pointing downward is dark, signifying his physical nature. The 2 intertwined symbolize the fact that only by the perfect blending of these 2 natures can man attain wisdom. Its symbol is the pentagram. The interlaced triangles form the foundation stone of the objective universe. Man can only attain to wisdom as he can correlate his consciousness with nature. By some, 6 is called the number of unrest and incompleteness. This is true in the sense that it is the unrest of nature ever becoming, ever changing in form, that the great creative principle, the Christos, may manifest more fully. 6 is formed by a circle, that which is unmanifested, with a line running upward, symbolizing the unrest of a determined aspiration, reaching out to and trying to manifest ever greater degrees of divinity. 7 is the most sacred of all numbers, for it represents the point in man's evolution where he becomes more than man. Its symbol is the interlaced triangles with the dot in the center, the dot being the same germinal point or creative center found in the mundane egg, which is now manifested through nature and man. In other words, it is the perfect blending of the 4 and the 3, the human and the divine. The 3 represents fire, while 4 symbolizes the earth. Thus, 3 and 4, or fire and earth, must be blended by the great mother principle, water, ere creation can be perfected. This symbol is called the Seal of Solomon, or wisdom. 8 is the number of evolution, or the spiritual motion of cycles, the breath of the cosmos. Its symbol is 2 ciphers touching and blending. 8 is also the double square, or the foundation stone, with the cornerstone laid, upon which the higher life shall be erected. 9 is the number of initiation. It is the most mysterious number which never changes. No matter how multiplied or added, the sum of the resulting digits will always equal 9. That is, 9 plus 9 equals 18, equals 9, or 3 times 9 equals 27, equals 9, etc. In it, all numbers are swallowed up to emerge once more in a new cycle. 10. Thus it is truly the number of initiation, for the various initiations are steps in the soul life. No matter how you have multiplied sensations, experience, knowledge, or attainment, you cannot pass your great initiation until you have returned to that from which you started, just as all multiples of 9 return to 9. 9 is also 3 times 3, or the Trinity of Trinities, nature, man, and God. According to Hermetic philosophy, it stands for the lamp of Hermes, the mantle of Apollonius, and the staff of the patriarchs. Hermes has made it the number of initiation, because the initiate reigns over superstition, and by superstition, and alone can advance through the darkness, leaning on his staff, enveloped in his mantle, and lighted by his lamp. In 9 we find again the cipher with which we started, but with a straight line descending from it. Later, when the initiation is completed, this line will take its place to the right of the cipher, making 10, completing the cycle and making man more than a man. All even numbers are mundane and pertain to the physical plane, while all odd numbers are divine. They contain something which cannot be measured by the 2 forces, positive and negative, always operative on the physical plane. These are the principal meanings of numbers. All others must be determined by the law of correspondence. The lesson to be learned from these examples of the one law is the importance of little things, for to the occultist there are no little things. Everything that is, every thought, word, and deed has its sound, number, color, and form. These letters of nature's mystic alphabet are always creating, spelling out words, which words are telling the story of your life, writing it indelibly upon your countenance and upon the everlasting Akashic records. Strive therefore to write the history of this day of life in letters of gold. Let all your colors be pure, bright, and radiant, for whether you realize it or not, your colors are continually emanating from you and are implanting your history on every person and thing you come in contact with. They also bring back to you their physical results, which are built into your form, so that, in the very truth, your physical body, as well as the spiritual, mental, astral, is the result of your thoughts. Truly it is said of man, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.